one of the big concerns in India is that consumption has been driven by the upper middle class so far. And the lower middle class, the agriculturists, the rural areas, they're starting to show up in the consumption numbers, even while the upper middle class is flagging. So there may be a handoff in consumption. That's a positive because, of course, it also reduces inequality if the people who are worse off consume more. So broadly speaking, good, but we need more. I've been saying this, shouting from the rooftops forever so long. If we want to become a Viksit Desh by 2047, we need more like 8.5%, 9% growth because we are a relatively poor nation. And so that growth is what we should be aspiring for. This, I've said, could be India's moment, but we have to seize it.
Come to the economic challenges once again in a moment, but you just mentioned about education. The entire Trump policy taking on Harvard University, trying to put a stop to all foreign student visas has troubled many in this country. You just seem to suggest that is actually an opportunity perhaps for Indian education to raise its standards and keep students within. That's not going to be very easy. What's your overall take on what Trump is doing to the higher education system in the United States? And do you see really an opportunity here for India, or Indian students now finding it increasingly difficult to get into top-end American universities?
Well, yes, it is an unfortunate action by the administration to target not just the universities, but the students within those universities, the international students. You must remember that international students coming into the United States is a big export for the United States. 45 billion is what they earned, some of which we are paying from India. When our students go there and we pay tuition fees, we're essentially paying for U.S. education. That's been good. I don't want to fault that. U.S. universities have benefited, Indian students have benefited and been able to get jobs across the world, but also bring back a high quality of learning to India. So this has been win-win. And it's unfortunate that that in the United States, you're seeing actions against this very source of well-being between the U.S. and the rest of the world. It'll hurt the U.S. for sure. I think students are already asking, do I want to be there or do I want to go to Australia or the UK, which may be a little more welcoming? But also, it is, in the longer run, getting the best and the brightest into the United States has been a big source of growth. What I am saying is, let's try and find a silver lining in this cloud. It is a cloud. But the silver lining could be that if we focus on investing more in our education, including in our best universities, and bring them to a higher plane. China did this in the last 20 years. We can do it. And we absolutely need to do it if we want to have a place in in research and development, if we want new products that we can sell to the rest of the world. These are areas where India is relatively weak. Which Indian product is sold across the world? Which Indian car has a global market? These are areas we need to focus on, and I think we can.
But do you see a pushback to what Donald Trump has done with universities? Do you see American universities, you are, of course, a leading professor in one of them, do you see a pushback in general in the next few months?
I think there is a pushback, of course. I think Harvard is fighting back quite vigorously. But I think this is damaging. No matter what happens, a fight between the universities and the government, essentially students become collateral damage. Research becomes collateral damage. A lot of medical research has been halted while the government thinks about funding. This creates enormous uncertainty amongst researchers. And, I was in Singapore last week. The president of one of the universities there told me, we used to have a hit rate of 40% when we made offers to U.S. academics. Today, the hit rate is 100%. So you are seeing a weakening of U.S. academia. Of course, it's very strong. And if these issues are resolved quickly, I don't see a longer-term significant weakening. But people remember. And people, when offered choice between two places, will pick the place they feel more comfortable in.